Si Rumble.
Ang kulang dito, si yung may laruan.
Yun nga, si Rumble.
Si Rumble.
Yung may O2 flamethrower.
O2 flamethrower.
Yun na nga.
Ayan. Shoutouts po doon sa gumawa na
Hindi ko alam kung gusto nila talaga mang-trigger ng ng audience o talagang
Magnum Opus.
Magnum Opus.
Ayun yung yung alias Robin Hood. So,
yeah.
Solid work of art.
Yun na nga mga kaibigan. So actually medyo ang nakikita kong combo dito sa kabila sync ng ultis. Kumbaga shackle mo ni Robin Hood. Tapos ang probinsyano kung wala ka nang maintindihan curtain call, samahan mo pa ng cannon barrage.
Pagbukas ng curtain call na may team song.
Cute
team song.
Kung wala ka na. Mamaya makikita na. Boom. Hindi.
Ganun. Pero mo pa with the Evelyn. Evelyn will put a lot of pressure. Okay, sa lahat ng lanes natin dito. That's how Evelyn is played. Plus, of course, I would say then, para kay Kindred. Actually, Evelyn could be designed in such a way that you could predict the jungle pathing ng isang Kindred if you want to get those bounties.
Yeah.
Diba?
And if you actually want to maybe be able to catch off Evelyn, you either want to have this Suez actually counter jungle early, or at least, go into the jungle of his opponents to spot out life howling, or buy at least 1 or 2 early game pink wards para lang or put them at riverside para lang makita niyo sa mga gagaling to, because again Kindred is almost always auto invisible.
Correct.
Every angle, even if you put like trinkets, will be parang useless din.
Yeah, wala lang din.
Yes. Good thing nga na nagkaroon ng update tayo na laging pink ward na yung meta ng ward ngayon, diba? Pinamura yung pink ward, pero ayan nga, I'd say na yung mini-mention mo na counter para sa Evelyn or parang play against Evelyn with wards, yun na lamang yung natitira. Actually, bilang lang yung mga champions na may inherent counter. Kay Kindred, I'd prompt. It would be nice na ang pipiliin mo kay Kindred, kay Evelyn rather, it would be nice na you would pick the skirmish saber na.
Yeah.
Para kay Kindred to get that true sight on the Evelyn whenever you go for the trade-up. Pero isang champion na alam ko good counter para sa Evelyn na nasa meta ko yun would be the Jhin.
Correct.
Because of the traps.
Yeah.
That's
Ganon.
true.
It's an additional ward or guard para sa inyong lane para kung bibisitahin man ni Evelyn.
Automatic pag tinamaan ka ng trap,
Matapakan
i-W mo, automatic. Pero ito, ang hindi pa natin nakikita, hindi natin napapansin. Protektado pala dito. Ang the signature move, the flankers. Mr. JLC. Classic.
Classic
The
Irelia.
classic Irelia. At pansinin mo, protektado. Inspire ni Karma, ulti ni Suez and Devour ni Tom Kench. Ang problema, mapapatay ba tong? Alam naman natin si JLC kapag lumiliko, nakikipag 1-on-4 yan eh. Paano protektado pa siya ng mga So makakakita na naman ba tayo ng The Classic?
And I want to understand din yung matchup kanina. Nakita natin kung gaano ka-underhanded si Hate against Marquis Jhin. But the Marquis Jhin was paired with the Janna. So, paano naman ngayon? Wala yung Janna, pinares sa Braum. Ano yung situation ngayon? Plus, Ezreal pa rin yung pinili ni Hate dito.
Oo.
But this time, it is paired with Tom Kench.
Yeah.
Oo.
They would still have to respect, kasi if you think about it, kahit man wala na yung Janna, they kind of actually doubled up yung merong CC dito ngayon, si Marky, because he has a deadly flourish. Pag kumanik pa yun, or pag nagsimula pa lalo yung concussive blow ni Braum, susunod ng deadly flourish, sobrang daming pandikit.
I'm still leaning more for Mark sa bottom 2 dito ng CRB. Especially with the proficiency na pinapakita ni Mark ngayon with the Jhin.
Saka much more aggressive sila. And I don't know, like yes, IPT is a veteran team, but then having to have that like mindset na baka nangyari nung game 1 could actually rattle them.
Okay, so bago natin ipasa to sa ating casters, there's ano yung mga call nyo dito?
Predictions.
Una ka na, Asurai.
2-1, Cerberus win.
2-1, Cerberus win. What about you, Manjean?
Ako ngayon, basing sa lineup, umaasa ako kay Mr. JLC sa Irelia dahil protektado. Mananalo ang IPT ngayon. Mamaya, hindi ko pa alam.
Okay, so ipasa na natin sa Casters Desk at malalaman natin kung anong prediction ang tama. Mali, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Riku. And of course, Coach Arctic.
Alright, thank you very much for that. And very good analysis by our analyst couch.
I'm very proud.
Yeah, because it's more like people are expecting na magiging 2-1 to, o kaya because it's still IPT versus Cerberus. I mean, they're sister teams. It might be these two teams are just trying to test the waters, and I feel like IPT just needs a better draft from game 1. And I feel like this is definitely a stronger draft compared to before, because there's safety for Hate, and there's double safety, just as Manjean said kanina, meron niya si Suez with the Lamb's Respite. But the thing is, I'm still not a fan of the Ezreal pick.
Personally, yeah.
I'm very allergic to low wave clear, the wave clear ADCs, really. Compared to, I mean, both of them are obviously running with a triple ADC, but hold that thought, let's go with the rundown first. On the blue side, we've got Imperium Pro Team, JLC in the top with the Aurelia. In the jungle, we've got Suez with the Kindred. In the mid lane, we've got Light with the Karma, and for the for the bot lane duo, we've got Hate on the Ezreal and Poisanity with the Tahm Kench.
And of course, make some noise for my brothers on the red side. Cerberus eSports in the top lane. We have Suzaku on the gangplank. In the jungle, we have Evelyn on, Life Howling on the Evelyn, rather. And for the mid lane, we have Trevor on the Varus. And to sum up our bot lane right here, we have Marky once again on the Jhin for AD carry, and Shadow on the Braum for Les Soporta.
Les Soporta. So, again, IPT having a stronger draft compared to before, but for Cerberus eSports, the good thing about that their draft, I mean, the surprising thing is the Evelyn pick, because a lot of junglers have been banned nga kanina, like the Zac and Rex. I don't want to let that in. So for Evelyn, it's early game pressure, which would mean, IPT would most likely buy early game pink wards, which is a huge deal because it might slow. Okay, hold that thought. There might be JLC really ruining the attempting. Yeah.
But yeah, what's interesting here is I'd like to give a little bit of focus here real quick on the Varus of Trevor, because if you're going to kind of look at it, Varus has kind of been that pseudo comparison to, but hold that thought right here.
Oh my, there comes a snare. Poisanity, of course, very, very tanky. Lick does not connect. And in the mid lane, here comes an early gank. Flash being burned, flash for flash, red buff. Will this be first blood? Yes, it is. Evelyn will get that for Cerberus eSports.
Indeed. Sneaky play there from Life Howling, and it really paid off. It's going to be very interesting how Life Howling plays this Evelyn, because, definitely has the element of surprise. I mean, pretty basic Evelyn stuff right there.
Yeah.
And, as I was saying earlier,
wow.
Can't seem to finish what I'm trying to point out here with all the action happening once again.
Exactly.
But yeah, hopefully, yeah. As I was saying, Varus is kind of the pseudo cannon stance Jace, because as far as build, it's kind of the same thing. You go for the Manamune, and then you build some armor penetration.
True,
you almost Ghostblade, and then Black Cleaver. We'll see if they opt for the Duskblade as well. Maybe. But yeah, it's kind of the same concept as well. But Life Howling getting
oh no, Life Howling, will that red buff go to you? But looks like the rest of the members are going for the backup. Suez with a double buff, still very brave. Flash, burn, one more auto attack for the stun. Yes, it is. Life Howling still alive. Trevor with a poke, he rushes in. Suez, one more auto attack. Shadow will land that kill. Meanwhile, Poi is in trouble, and that'll be 2 kills falling to Cerberus eSports. Oh my.
I'm not sure if that's what IPT should be doing so early on, because for me, I mean, if they go hard on engage, you really couldn't avoid the Shadow right there on the Braum, because there's a lot of people that could easily proc the concussive blows.
Exactly.
It's really reflecting 0-3 now on the scoreboard, again tilting towards Cerberus eSports. Hopefully IPT really takes that into account and avoids making these mistakes, especially since this is now 1-0 for Cerberus eSports. And if Cerberus eSports dominates,
okay, I thought the outplay was gonna happen.
Yeah, almost, but not quite.
Yeah.
But then again, very interesting if GLC did go for that. Suzaku a little bit low on mana, although just enough for the barrel, so it's kind of risky at the same time.
Yeah, better play safe, because this is, match point. If Cerberus wins this, they're heading on to the finals against Mineski. Well, the odd thing about what happened there was Suez was so brave. Okay, hold the thought. There comes a gank here in the mid lane. Trevor getting snared. He has no escape. There is the explosion. Life Howling is still on the chase with all the spikes coming from the Evelyn. There's the W. But then the Inspire shield is just going to be so annoying for Life Howling for not being able to finish the kill. Meanwhile, Suzaku in the top lane running out of mana and HP as well. JLC with the upper hand still has flash for both of these top laners. But I would like to continue though. Suez was very brave of trying to counter jungle, stealing the blue. The flash, JLC lingering. My god, I did not expect that. I was going into the analysis of the jungle part, but I should have stopped and looked. Okay, you know what? Let's anticipate JLC's moves like that. I mean, it's kind of like, there's food in front of you.
Yeah.
But you know what? Maybe you can't eat it just yet.
Okay.
But then temptation kicks in, flash, auto attack, bam. That's just so
interesting analogy.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
For JLC.
So finally, we're seeing a little bit more of the IPT that we know that they are, because earlier that's very typical from what we usually see from IPT. Why they're such a dominating factor, the combination of Suez and Light going aggressive in those lanes early on when they're trying to pick off the mid laner, as well as again the JLC. He is regarded as one of the top laners in the Philippines, and finally we're seeing that now into game 2. They finally realize what is on the line right here, drafting a better composition and making better plays from what I was seeing earlier. Because earlier during the first game, I'd say they were a little bit sloppy, but so far, finally, we're seeing that IPT that we all know and love.
Yeah, that's true. And look at that. Suez, again, is this round number 2 for the counter jungling. Life Howling's there. The poke actually kicks in, and the slow as well. Just a couple of more auto attacks, but the shield also saves the Kindred, and well played. But again, Suez really after trying to put Life Howling inside his own jungle, making sure that the pressure will not seep into IPT slowly.
True, because technically when you go for the Evelyn, you'd expect the Evelyn to do the surprising with the stealth. So Suez kind of counterbalancing that by trying to provide as much pressure as he can onto Cerberus eSports' jungle right there.
Yeah, that's true. And they're doing a good job. Meanwhile, Braum is actually going for the red buff of the Imperium Pro team. Now, they warded that, so they can spot out where, the rotations are going to be, where the gank is going to be coming from. So Suez, obviously, really at the top side of the map. Well warded, by the way, by Cerberus eSports on the top lane. So just in case that, Suez decides to go roam around and visit Suzaku, and help out JLC, then that, that spot is not open for the taking.
Exactly, and looking at the composition here for IPT, we were talking about how this is a fairly better drafted composition as a whole, because I feel like the Kindred in itself, although we don't really see that much Kindred anymore, but it's a fairly decent answer to the composition that Cerberus eSports has.
Yeah.
I think for Cerberus eSports, it's all a matter of making sure that they properly coordinate the order of these their ultimates.
Yeah.
Because if not well coordinated, or if they just put it all into one big wombo combo clash, then it could easily be negated by that one SS alone.
That is true. Very smart enough. I actually agree with you there. Although they're anticipating this red buff, no steal will happen there. And another air dragon for the first dragon of the game. Is Braum in trouble though? That's a red buffed Suez, but the movement speed from the Scuttler. But here comes Poi for the backup. Nothing will happen there. Meanwhile, here comes Light with an aggressive zoning from the queue of the Karma.
Exactly.
And the rest of the members are actually in the riverside as well, so it's a bit dangerous for Trevor to keep, trying to contest his space in the mid lane. So it was pretty smart. No vision for the side of Cerberus at the moment in the mid side, in the mid lane rather. So Kindred could potentially gank if ever, kasi red buff is one of those really good openings kahit na hindi tumama yung CC.
And I like the idea that...
here comes the flash and the snare as well. Suez will come to the rescue with a lamp respite. Life Howling really low, staying under the ultimate of Suez, and he will just explode. Actually, Gangplank's ultimate was used there, but I don't think it was helpful at all.
Yeah, not exactly necessary. And there we go. That is what I'm talking about here. Suez, I feel like he made a fairly smart pick going up against Life Howling.
Yeah.
Because it's not just the utility of the Lamps Respite, but also the overall trade between the Evelyn right there. I feel like IPT kind of comes off a little bit more on top. As I've said, it all comes down to whether Cerberus can properly coordinate these folks going into the team fights right here.
Yeah, that's very true. Because if I were to place it like jungler versus jungler, Life Howlings will eventually drop, and Suez is just gonna scale and just gonna get stronger. And this triple AD comp for both sides, in terms of like who deals the much more damage I have to hand it to Cerberus.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I have to hand it to Cerberus. Gangplank, considering the AoEs and the kit that they throw in the table, in terms of like the CCs, counting only the 3 ADCs, by the way. I have to hand it to Cerberus eSports, but with the kit and repositioning, because of that karma, I think it turns into a whole different game. Lots of clutch saves for sure because of the inspired shields from coming in from the karma and the devour by Poisanity on the Tam Kench. That's why it might be difficult for Cerberus eSports to actually burst someone down with their current strength. So they have to make a pick, make someone not present, either the karma or Poisanity, in the field, in the battle.
I feel like for Cerberus, it's all more about baiting the counter that IPT provided here.
Yeah.
Potentially baiting out the Lamb's Respite, but not going full in.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. So it's more of a mind game, really. And what I want to point out here is I love how Suez is providing jungle pressure on the map, or on the jungle side of Cerberus eSports right here. Because Evelyn, technically, the strength that Evelyn has is the stealth and ganking in these lanes. While Suez is kind of responding by knowing that he is a little bit more slippery when in these jungles. So,
Yeah, that's true.
he could he has a little bit more safety when counter jungling in comparison to Life Howling, where all he has is to set the hold that thought right here.
Okay, I thought that Gank was about to push through, but the poke is just too insane. The slow connects, and Trevor actually activates Ghost and tries to chase down the Kindred, but too far away. And no flash, burnt there, but then again, Ghost, I think that was a pretty okay gank coming in from Imperium Pro Team. At least may na-burn na spell kahit papano.
Indeed, and I'm kind of curious when...
Oh my, look at Life Howling with the Thunder. Okay, Life Howling, just one more auto attack, and the ultimate coming from Trevor actually being released just to save his companion. Meanwhile, support versus support here. Hate actually has no mana, and there comes the ultimate from the Braum. Trevor actually just wants to target the Karma right now, but he is just JLC is just too much. Double kill for him. What a bonus.
Finally, the teamwork that we know that IPT has is finally showing. JLC really flexing his muscle, showing who the dominant Aurelia player is here in the Philippines right here. Very classic JLC, I'd say.
Classic JLC with, normally for some teams, it's the top, it's the mid lane, the jungle, and the support that goes in the mid lane. But for IPT, for Imperium Pro Team, it's the top lane, mid, and jungle. That's their style talaga. And with that, it really helps Aurelia ramp up faster. There's a Triforce power spike. It's going to be super duper effective, especially if they want to make a play in the bot lane. Considering the fact that, that's just one of the ADCs na low mobility. So the only person that can save him there in the bot lane is Shadow. But I don't think that will stop JLC.
Exactly. And kind of wondering here, it's very interesting because if we're going to look at the bans earlier, it was very... not even very, it's like 5 out of the 6 bans that they had on the board was purely jungle. So it's all a matter at this point as to which team can provide the better innovation as far as what jungle picks you have left. And I feel like IPT kind of came up a little bit better in this because not only do they get the dominance from Suez here on the Kindred, but also at the same time the utility that Lance Respite has as far as the overall composition in counter to Cerberus eSports just really shines. Evelyn, I'm not really 100% sure. So far, what we've been seeing is more of the classic, what you'd expect of an Evelyn. But as far as what Evelyn brings into these clashes, I'm not really sure just yet.
Exactly. You do start off with the Evelyn when, for example, mid-game now, when you guys group up, the group up phase, normally it's the Evelyn that starts the fight, or maybe the Varus. But during the laning phase, just because the laning phase is sort of being sped up by Imperium Pro Team with their dominant plays and more control, it seems like Evelyn is lacking or finding less opportunities to gank. Oh my god, the burst coming in from Suzaku, and the Aurelia goes in. Just one more Transcendent Blade runs out. Almost clutch barrel coming from Suzaku rather. And I guess no flashy plays. Or, she's gonna eat an orange and it will be K. So comes the aggressive flash from JLC. He gets hit by a ton of turrets, but the outplay way will not be possible for you anymore. JLC, for the second time. I guess, yun nga, Suzaku anticipated that.
Yeah, definitely. It did happen earlier, and Suzaku was like, I'm not going to let that happen to me once again. So a little bit of an outplay right there. And he didn't even technically need the cannon barrage right there.
Yeah, he did not.
I guess it was more of a safety precaution to make sure that he secures the kill. But then again, very well played again. For
Almost.
me, what I like about both IPT and Cerberus eSports is they pretty much secured the best top laners for me, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Suzaku, he's pretty much known for climbing the ladders in solo queue. JLC is pretty much he's a superstar.
Yeah, he is. And I think because of these recent matchups between JLC and Suzaku, I feel like they're the ones to look out for whenever they go head-to-head. These two top laners. Okay, here comes the Abyssal Voyage used by Poi. The flash kicks in. Shadow releases his ultimate as they Braum. JLC gets rooted by the Jin, and True Shot Barrage activated. All 5 members of IPT just looking for a kill, not able to find it.
Potentially, we might be seeing a tower push followed by a dragon. That's kind of the direction that you go. You know, since you're going all aggressive on the bot lane and knowing that the members of IPT Cerberus are pretty much scattered across the map. You know, this could potentially be a very good time to go for that dragon right now.
It is very well played by Imperium Pro Team. I mean, even though they did not get a kill, they still get first blood turret. That's a huge deal. After that, they will get the Baron. Although, you know, as a consolation prize, Cerberus eSports will manage to get that top lane turret for themselves. So, I guess more farming space for JLC. That's fine. He can just push that out, push that wave, and just go back to doing JLC things.
Yes.
Catch people by surprise on Cerberus eSports.
JLC is what JLC does.
Yeah.
So yeah, but one interesting thing here is that IPT, you know, despite that fairly even in terms of kills, objectives, because of that Drake, IPT is a little bit more on top right here. But if you're gonna look at the gold, again, still a little bit more in favor of Cerberus right here. So very interesting. I guess it's pretty much attributed to the, well, not even the creep score, I'd say, because it's fairly.
It's a bit even. I mean, it's not too far off. Looks like they want to secure this Rift Scuttler. Because if I were in IPT shoes right now, I'd put the Rift Scuttler on the Rift Herald rather on JLC. I mean, you'd split push. You know, if Suzaku and JLC would do 1-on-1s, then obviously it would be really helpful for JLC. Meanwhile, I'm kind of a bit worried for Cerberus eSports if this trend keeps up. Like, if JLC keeps getting the kills, getting the items, getting the levels, and then nothing can stop JLC. I mean, okay, Shadow's stun, passive, Braum's passive, but I don't think it's enough. I think they need more CC than that. Trevor's Chain of Corruption, I'm not sure if that's going to be enough for JLC, because you want to reserve that for, you know, all of your, like, the rest of the group.
Exactly.
So you don't want to pour too much on one target, because that will definitely be something that will parang, okay, success patay si JLC. What about the rest of the members of IPT? So yeah.
And yeah, that's definitely. Oh, hold that thought though.
Oh my, Hate is in trouble. Cannon Barrage for the assist. There's a Smite locking in. Can Hate escape? Will he do it? One more auto attack. Life Howling will secure the kill and secure the pickoff. So that's no more ADC on the side of Cerberus. I mean, on IPT's side rather.
Life Howling and hold that on another attempt right here from Imperium Pro Team.
Okay, meanwhile, there's a duel in the top lane. Suzaku is just gonna run towards his turret, but this is just too much to handle for Suzaku. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, there's action all over the place. Curtain Call, and that is a clutch. Blam's Respite. Life Howling will try to chase them off. One more hit, and the bomb. Beautiful death. Suez as well, double kill for the side of Cerberus eSports. That's a 2-for-1 exchange in favor of Cerberus.
At this point, slightly kind of worried for IPT, because as far as responses, sure, it's kind of like game 1 wherein Braum was a temporary response to the
poke.
But later on during the game, Jace and the Jin were just so painful that it didn't matter if whether Braum had that unbreakable, because they were just dealing a ton of damage. And I feel like the same thing is right here, because like for Suez, sure, they have the Lamb's Respite to cancel out some of the damage that Cerberus has, but then again, as I've said, Cerberus, all they need to do is just make sure that they coordinate and make sure that they don't go fully all in on their kit right here, because as soon as Lamb's Respite goes down, then that's when they could release the extra barrage of whatever they have right here.
I agree with you. I mean, considering the fact that this double AD comp, I mean, the ADC comp, rather, the double ADC comp of Cerberus Esports are poke. So they don't really have to go near or stay beside them. But once the Lamb's Respite is finished, then release the Curtain Call or maybe the Q of the Varus. So, you know, it is a smart choice in terms of like anti-burst, but it could easily be worked around by Cerberus Esports once they see a pattern on when Suez releases it, or they can actually hold on to it before anything else. Meanwhile, IPT doing the rotations, trying to find what they can, you know, achieve at this point of the game. So top lane is going to be, you know, destroyed by Imperium Pro Team.
At this point, I feel like as far as the bigger picture, that's something IPT has been struggling going into.
Oh my, Suez has been forced Suzaku to burn the flash counter barrage for the slow. But look at that explosive damage. Meanwhile, here in the mid lane, Poi Sanity uses the flash curtain call being activated. Poi, will the shield run out? Yes, it will. Marky's on a rampage, and I don't think anybody can handle him right now.
I don't know, Marky just hurting like there's no tomorrow. And again, IPT, they kind of had that early tempo going on. But then again, Cerberus Esports, I feel like as far as the bigger picture, looking at the competition.
Oh my god!
What just happened right there? Cerberus Esports once again really flexing some muscles here. And I'm kind of worried for IPT at this point, because Cerberus Esports slowly gaining the momentum back in their favor, and they are just not stopping so far. 5-0-1 for Marky. That's a pretty big deal at this point, and I'm not sure IPT has the right resources to respond to that.
I think the reason why this has been happening is because the only person for me at the moment that can deal with Marky is JLC. You have to annoy him as much as you can in the battlefield, because if he gets that legroom, okay, Poi, you're walking into a trap, and there comes all the snares and all the CCs in the world, and Shadow will get the last hit from all of those 5 people from Cerberus Esports.
Oh my goodness, looking at our scoreboard, 7-11. Pretty...
Yeah.
I guess it's pretty apt right now, because it's looking pretty convenient right now
for
Cerberus Esports at this
nice
point.
One.
No pun intended, but I just kind of went there anyway. But
yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
So yeah, looking at the scoreboard right now, I'm kind of worried because IPT, as far as the responses that they have, you know, Ezreal 0 and 2, so that's kind of one down as far as the damage that IPT could potentially dealing, combined with the Tahm Kench, which is kind of the additional safety aside from the Lamb's Respite. Because like, if Lamb's Respite, along with the Lamb's Respite, the cherry on top supposedly was supposed to be the Tahm Kench debar,
but the Smite Steal, Life Howling will fall from that. It's going to be an initial 4v5. Here comes the disengage coming from Cerberus Esports, and the poke is just too strong as well. Curtain Call being activated right there. Marky in a very bad position as the Abyssal Voyage is being used for Poi and for Cerberus Esports, and now they're collapsing so hard on to Marky, and they fall down slowly one by one, and they have a really bad position there.
Finally, IPT, I stand corrected, IPT still really showing that they want to stay go 1-1 and potentially push this into the third game right here.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I feel like IPT has finally discovered what they need to potentially counter Cerberus Esports right here. You know, that's the beauty of the Tahm Kench. They could use the
Abyssal Voyage.
There we go, to kind of go back into Marky, who's been shooting a lot of damage from the backline. And, you know, with a hope and a prayer, hopefully they could potentially rely on not having any further defense for Marky, assuming that everybody else is on the front line. But
okay, Life Howling super duper aggressive, activates his ultimate, managed to land a flash. Will the Devourer kick in? Suez obviously not being able to reach him, and that's the Yomu's Ghostblade being activated just to escape all the members from of Cerberus Esports, and looks like they will.
That's not exactly the type of exchange you expect from a Karma versus an Evelynn, especially since, you know, the Karma can do the fancy footwork with her shield, and then she also has that Tether for extra measure to kind of get into the thing. Along with the fact that Light was with Poi right there, so I'm kind of surprised that Light went down to Life Howling that easily.
Yeah, the burst coming in from the upgrade of the jungle item, but then just really. Obviously, they did not expect that. They were just aiming to, just siege peacefully. And looks like Life Howling managed to buy some time, not letting Imperium Pro Team finish that turret. Meanwhile, on the Vision side, since, we've taken a dragon, all eyes on the prize, and, the Baron.
Yes.
It's a really, really important objective. And it's going to be very fast, if ever, in terms of taking down objectives, if they do get the Baron, because both of them, again, running on triple AD comp. So it's really crucial whoever gets this Baron, because the fast push is just going to be real for both of these teams.
You know what I'm kind of worried about here? I've been trying to think of win conditions for IPT right here. We did talk about, sure, they have Poi for the Abyssal Voyage going into Marky, but then again, let's say, who are the prime people that could potentially take down Marky once the Abyssal... Who will join Tom Kench on the Abyssal Voyage? Because you only have one person, and from what I'm seeing here, it could be JLC.
Yeah.
But then again, one weakness that I'm potentially seeing in IPT's roster here is that JLC is known for those heavy flanks, which is why it's a very effective maneuver. But the thing here is, like, once you see JLC go for the flanks, what teams have been opting to do is, instead of going back and running from JLC, what they do is ignore JLC, just go for whatever players are in the front line. I think that, hold that thought though.
Oh my, look at JLC, very brave, but gets Corrupted Chain, and he is forced to use a flash. The stun connects, but no follow-up comes. Cannon Barrage, will they be able to finish JLC? Yes, they will. Shadows on the killing spree. Remo Suez will exit the Lampress bite, but it will still explode from the damage of Marky. Poi tries to devour his teammate, Light and Hate, and the rest of them, but then the flash poke coming from Trevor. Well played. That'll be a 3-for-0 exchange in favor of Cerberus eSports.
Oh my good, Trevor poking like there's no tomorrow. Again, what I've been saying, the pseudo cannon Jace right there, you know, he just throws the arrow and then the armor penetration just doesn't work. And well, here we go. Looks like Cerberus is easily going to be getting his Baron right here. Trevor trying to, I guess pretty much a clean Baron at this point.
Yeah, they won't really lack damage. Again, triple AD comp works wonders in taking down objectives really, really fast. They weren't able to get the Elemental Earth Drake. It's fine, because they won't lack damage. But then again, this is Cerberus with the upper hand. 4K gold lead. IPT still has a chance to win this, but Cerberus eSports looking really fly right now.
Oh my goodness, so 10 and 16 now on our scoreboard. Cerberus eSports, I gotta hand it to them. As I've been continually pointing out earlier, in the Pro Gaming Series, they pretty much fell within the top. They're top 5 in the PGS, and then in MPGL they kind of had low expectations because everybody was seeing the lack of chemistry when they were starting out. But so far, they've really come a long way at this point. You know, going up against not only their what we deem their sister team, but one of the top teams in the Philippines, which was once considered the undefeatable IPT. But now, I'm not sure if it's. Perhaps it's maybe a combination of Cerberus eSports really stepping up their game with IPT kinda, you know, as I've been saying, it's very, you're starting to see the common combo that IPT goes for. JLC goes for the flank while everybody baits with the front line.
The front line, yeah. It hasn't worked. I mean, I said JLC is the key here to just be that annoying person to Marky or to Trevor since they're very low mobility. It's just that they're so aware of that technique of JLC. And that's why, even though JLC finds an opening, they just try to counter it out. Suez in deep, deep trouble. Meanwhile, Life Howling activates his ultimate cannon barrage, and there comes the Thunder. Okay, Life Howling really, really low. Gets the snare, double kill na ngayon. See, Gangplank, but look at that. Everybody from IPT slowly going down. Poisanity has no hope in living, and Baron is there to help the minions, and now they're just storming through the base. Only Light is there to protect Marky.
Oh no!
Being the guard, I think this is over. It's over.
This is gonna be the game indeed. 10 and 20 for the final score. Very well played. Wow, I'm speechless at this point.
Me too. I mean, it was close at first, but then